Have you ever given a speech or created a piece of artwork, played a sport or an instrument you love, and felt so incredibly focused and alive that it almost felt like time completely disappeared? You know, moments when your mind becomes totally absorbed in whatever it is you're doing. When you are in a state of flow, your entire being is immersed in the activity, and everything seems to be working together in complete harmony. I know for myself, I get this feeling of being in the flow when public speaking. It's those times when I feel like something bigger than me is doing the talking and I've completely gotten out of my own way. It's when you're not judging every move, you're not planning your next decision per se. You're just letting it unfold naturally. It's the most incredible feeling. Not only does it feel really good, but studies show that you also accomplish so much more in less amount of time when you access flow states. Research has shown that learning rates in flow increase by 470%. What that means is that flow can cut the amount of time you would normally spend on a task in half. It's downstream versus upstream. Studies done on athletes when they're in the zone, in sports it's called going unconscious, show that their brain waves operate similarly to those in a deep state of meditation. Leading authority on positive psychology, named Dr. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, coined the term flow in the 1960s. He found that it's not money that's the leading factor in what makes people happy, but rather humans are the happiest when they are in a state of flow. Wow. It's the reason you feel a natural high after giving a performance, right? Or playing your favorite sport, like I've said. So what's the connection between flow and manifestation? According to our holy Jewish sage, Rabbi Nachman, he says it's a huge mitzvah. In other words, it's a really big deal to be in a constant state of happiness. In fact, the Torah states that prophecy was only achieved when a person was in an elevated state of simcha, which is Hebrew for happiness. Now, the moment the sage became sad or frustrated or upset, his ability to have that direct phone line with source got severed. And in order to co-create, that phone line, that channel, has to be an open line of communication. So let's jump into the nitty-gritty, right? Here are 3 tips to help you achieve this optimal state of flow. Number 1, remove all distractions. Wear headphones. Put your phone on airplane mode, or better yet, throw it in a closet, in a drawer, another room, out the window, I don't care. But get rid of distractions and create a study space, right? Close your door if you have one. Schedule blocks of uninterrupted time on your calendar. Another thing I like to do to access a state of flow is to set an alarm clock for 25 minutes, or whatever reasonable amount of time suits you. This is also known as the Pomodoro technique. And the idea is you only allow yourself to work on one task during that allotted time and nothing else. Studies do show that successful people live with constant deadlines that they create for themselves. In other words, if someone knows that they have 5 years to make X amount of money, let's say, what they'll tend to do is we'll put off for later what we can actually accomplish in a matter of 2 months if we incorporated the Pomodoro technique. So when you give yourself a designated amount of time to work on something, You are actually training the neurons in your brain to become accustomed to accessing flow states. This is basic neurology 101. Another thing to access flow, they say, is to become a yes man or woman. Yes man or woman. In other words, get into the habit of saying yes to life. Say yes to opportunities. Say yes to suggestions. Say yes when you're answering questions. What this does is it trains your mind to lower the amount of resistance that you experience from God's universe. The idea here is you want to flow with the universe, not create more resistance. Because manifestation secret here, what you resist persists. The more you resist something, the more you end up closing the doors of possibility and opportunity. Your job is to create more opportunity and to see more revealed miracles in your life. And you do this by saying yes as often as you can, even if it feels a bit ridiculous at first. Right? So I'm going to ask you, is there a purple hippopotamus in the next room? Just say yes. Get into the habit of saying yes. And finally, what I like to do to access zone, and it's called the candle meditation. The Zohar suggests that when we focus on a particular sense, be it touch, smell, sight, listening, it calms our mind and allows us to be fully in the present. So a common technique used in modern psychotherapy uses a candle as a focus for mindfulness meditation. What you can do is basically sit in a dark room and watch the flickering of the flame mindfully. Do this for 5 minutes or more every night before bed for 1 week, just to begin to see how the results play out in your everyday life. This technique is known to also, extra bonus, improve concentration, improve your mood, decrease anxiety, which all are needed in order to prepare the mind for these powerful manifestations. Flow is accomplished when you're in the present moment, when you are right here, right now, not sitting in the beach in Bora Bora. For the first time in history, accessing flow states has begun to crack the code in peak performance. And the ability to co-create our reality becomes more tangible as a result. Now, I know we've covered a lot of ground in today's tidbit, so pick one out of all the techniques that I shared and start to incorporate it. Notice and see through wearing your manifestation goggles how synchronicities and manifestations and miracles start to appear in your everyday life as a result. And of course, comment below when you start seeing these results show up. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know which technique you're going to incorporate starting, why not, now. Happy accessing flow, and of course, sharing is caring. So if you liked what you've heard, pay it forward. And as always, happy manifesting.